Harbaugh now heads to the Los Angeles Chargers.
He wins everywhere. He wins, period.
Justin Herbert, he's a crown jewel.
Well, you guys better enjoy this.
Quick snap, Herbert to throw. Has a man, touchdown!
The fans loved it.
You have to love what you're seeing on tape if you're a Chargers fan, especially for the future with Justin.
Herbert on the move and throws and touchdown.
I was just trying to show off.
We're going to be known as world champions. And we're going to do it or die trying. Don't let the powder blues fool you.
Who's got it better than that?
What up, folks? Welcome back to the Charger Chat. I'm your co-host, Will Dugson, with my buddy, Kev Hung Duggan.
What's up, everybody?
Let's not forget, Kyle the Coach Duggan.
So how was the trip, boys? The trip to Malibu. You're back in Colombia where you
Came
belong.
back a little sun-baked, am I right?
Yeah, it was a little R&R with the company trip. It was pretty sweet.
It was pretty sweet. Yeah, I saw Kevin. He was riding some waves there at the end.
It was cold, man. I got in, but it was cold.
The turkey was done.
We went to Neptune's Net because, as you know, we reference Point Break almost every single episode.
Damn
so
right.
we had to go to Neptune's Net and get a basket of shrimp and fries
to go.
So we did that. It was pretty rad.
Did you talk like that the whole meal?
Oh, I asked for shrimp and fries. I did do that. I don't think he probably gets it every day, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I bet he
No
was
doubt.
thrilled to hear that line.
Yeah, it's like, oh, one of you dickheads. All right.
The movie was in the 90s. Let it go.
Yeah, seriously.
It was very, very good, though. Fresh. Very fresh shrimp.
It was good.
All right, folks. Well, hey, we're not here to talk about shrimp. We're here to talk about the Chargers and this upcoming primetime game that got flexed into Sunday night. There's tons to talk. Ooh, yeah.
Oh, that's another one that we do almost every episode.
It's Macho Man. I'm working on him.
Oh, yeah.
We got lots to talk about. We got a Craig experience lined up for you, so let's waste no time. Start at the top. This news dropped, and oh boy, like nobody, I didn't see this coming. Like there was no rumblings of this happening, but the Chargers have now created a content studio for them to do all sorts of things. Just when you thought the Bolt couldn't get any more dynamic, the addition of our new content studio provides yet another game changer for the Chargers organization, said Chief of Staff Fred Moss. Odds are that if you can imagine it, this new state-of-the-art studio can accommodate it as we continue to look for innovative ways to connect with our fans, partners, and given our location, the entertainment industry as a whole, we believe the Bolt provides endless possibilities, both for growth as a business and growth as a football team. Widely recognized as a leader in content creation and engaging social media since January 2023, Chargers YouTube has held the #1 spot in total views among all NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, and MLS teams, with over 178 million views per Liftoff Labs. Over the past 2+ years, the Chargers have gained over 1.4 million followers across all platforms.
And this might be helping our home field advantage a little bit, possibly, boys.
Yeah.
How's that?
1.4 million followers now. People are like, maybe like
coming.
Yeah, bring it. If you
bring them in,
if you upload
sit
it,
them
they
down.
will come.
I'm happy for it's nice that the content team got like their little like, hey, you guys have been doing good. You're working hard. Here's your new sick state-of-the-art studio. Like, it looks incredible. I just want to, is there a way to rent it? I guess is my real question.
I'd be willing to refinance my house to get us one episode on there.
Business
That'd be so sick.
Yeah,
we'll just write it off. Yeah. Government people pay for it.
We've already seen pictures of Chris Hayre and Matt Money Smith sitting in there. So that's the one thing I can't wait for now. Chargers Weekly, no longer via Zoom calls. Just sit down in the state-of-the-art studio with state-of-the-art equipment and give us a state-of-the-art podcast on Chargers Weekly. That's going to be sweet. That's going to be really awesome.
And it's like, hopefully you can access the players more too. You know, it's right there in the Bolt after
they're right
practice.
there. Pull them in. Hey, come here. Sit down.
Instead of the under the canopy on the field thing, it's like, let's just go up to the third floor and record this awesome podcast.
I can't wait.
There it is.
It's coming back.
It's just coming out.
Can't hold him back.
He's like the Hulk. Yeah, it just starts fighting its way out.
They can't hold it back. We also saw a familiar face visiting with the team recently. Manti Te'o was in the house. Just talking with some
he looks
players.
big still.
He looks like he can still play.
He's got that Sean Merriman thing where like they stay swole. They stay working
stay
out,
swole, bro.
Stay swole, bro.
It's not, linebackers are not like linemen where it's like the second they retire, they lose
they
300 pounds
and just like shrink
and you
up.
can't even recognize him. Yeah. He still looks jacked. Get him out.
Well,
Get some pads on that guy.
I'm pretty sure he played with Perriman too, because he was with Perriman hanging out with Alohi. I guess Alohi and him, I think they're cousins or some related in some way.
Careful. That's just because they're Hawaiian doesn't mean they're all.
No, I think they really did.
They said that. I think they're related in some
There
way.
was a quote.
How dare you? Just because they both from Hawaii, they must be related.
Listen,
That's
it's a
not what
small
I'm saying.
area.
It's a small
Surely they
island.
must have
I will
crossed
say-
paths at one point or another.
All of the Samoans I grew up with were cousins. Like we would play a football team and be like, "Oh yeah, that's my cousin." I'm like, I know. I already know that. Yeah.
Let's see. Looking over at Twitter, Daniel Popper tweeting out in the locker room Sunday, Jim Harbaugh turned to Justin Herbert and asked him to just talk to us, man. Herbert gave the speech, and Herbert said that Harbaugh has definitely put me in more situations like that. And the more you're in those situations, the more normal they feel.
How about that?
Coming out of his shell.
He's playing 3D chess, dude. He's like giving him what he needs slowly. He's just bringing him along, getting him set up for success. I just love hearing all these little tiny things that aren't necessarily field related, but it's leadership, leadership qualities.
For sure. And it's something, it's not something he just randomly tossed on him. Like this is the stuff that he's been doing all offseason. Remember, he would make some of the like more leader guys give speeches at the end of the day and like at the end of practice. So it's like, this is part of that culture that you don't really know how to put into words or what it looks like, but it just is there. This is one of those things of making your players the leaders on the team. Yeah. Did you guys see that Michael Parsons quote that came out? Him talking about,
no, you tell.
He kind of, it appears as though the way the media made it sound, he bashed Mike McCarthy. Because he was talking about how he's like, they were asking him, "Hey, is the season over? What's going on? Why do you guys suck?" Basically, and he's like, "Yeah, we're like, I'm bummed, but I'm more," because they twisted it to add Mike McCarthy in the question somehow, and he was like, I don't really care about Mike McCarthy. Like he could go find another job next year or whatever it is. I feel bad for the Zach Martins, the guys on the team that I like grind with every day, that have been playing here forever and have never won. Those are the guys I want to win for.
Oh my!
Whoa.
And I mean, it is a whoa statement, but there's so much truth to that. Like you play for the guy next to you. Yeah, your coach is the leader. He calls the plays. He sets the schedule. All that stuff. Mm-hmm. But like at the end of the day, when you want to create a culture where they want to play for each other. When you're on the field, like I'm doing this for you. I'm not necessarily only doing it for my coach. I'm not just a robot that does what I'm told. Yeah. So I think that is what Harbaugh's creating. It's like these guys love playing with each other and playing for each other. And he gives guys like Justin Herbert, like, no, I know you don't want to do this. You haven't done it often, but you're going to talk to the team right now in the post game because that'll help them buy in to want to play for you.
It's kind of like dad mode a little bit, where it's not just like
for sure
being successful in one thing. It's like, hey, I'm trying to set you up for success for the long run. So making you do things you don't necessarily want to do.
Well,
but you need to do,
You need
exactly.
It.
That's what
that skill.
That's what a good coach, I think, does. Is like doesn't just look at you as at your performance and like go, okay, well, we need to tighten up this aspect of your game. That's part of Justin's game is being a leader, and like we need to tighten that aspect of your game up. So I'm going to put you in these situations, and I'm going to be there to pick up the slack if for some reason he's like, all right, Justin, say something. He's like, I don't know what to do. Okay,
and he kind of did.
Let's give it for Justin.
There we go for Justin.
Yeah, and it makes like those guys that he probably doesn't talk to a whole lot, like defensive guys that are second string guys, like they're probably not interacting a whole bunch. And it's like they get to see a little bit of who Justin is in that goofy, funny speech that he gave at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Good job, guys.
Good job.
Daniel Popper also tweeting out Chargers offensive coordinator Greg Roman on whether there is a competition at right guard between Jamari Sawyer and Trey Pipkins. Roman said, I think they're both showing they can play at a winning level, so we'll see how that comes together. Pipkins was at right guard with starting O-line during their open period of practice today. We did see Pipkins was out there. I think his ankle was a little taped up as well.
I feel like
The question.
Pipkins' door to bash just keeps slowly opening for me, and I have to like hold myself back and not say anything bad. Hold. But I kind of want to see Jamari Sawyer out there because we didn't give up a sack last game, and seemed like we were running the ball and was better. I know that's not just one guy, but I don't know. It's different.
Well, it's also like moving forward, like Pipkins on the last year of his contract. So
yeah,
I think if Sawyer's even close or right there, you don't want to not get him reps just because this guy's like maybe an inch more athletic or taller or whatever it is. Like,
yeah,
if it's close, I personally would rather see Jamari out there getting reps and getting comfortable. Yeah. And then if he does start to play really well, you have a cheap guard for next year.
Yeah, exactly. And then Stephen Haglin, our brother from another podcast, tweeting out Chargers legend Donnie Edwards is currently the only player in franchise history to cross the 150 total tackle mark in a single season. Did it 3 times. Utah, give me 3, between 2003 and 2005, with 82 total tackles through 9 games this season. Deion Henley is on pace to be the second name on that list in his first year as a starter.
Man, they just put up a highlight of like he has 82 tackles right now or whatever it was. They put up a highlight of some of the stuff he's doing, man. Like he's diagnosing stuff and he is hitting gaps. He is playing like out of his mind. He's playing like a real top level linebacker, and you kind of get lost in it when you're not looking at him specifically, but he's all over the fields. I hope he can keep it going.
Well, even on that sack, that highlight of his sack, like he jumps over a guy.
He hurdled him, yeah.
To get the sack. And I love that. And then some quotes. QJ on Harbaugh. Quentin Johnston had this to say, said he does everything from working out with us to getting in the cold tub with his shoes, khakis, and everything on. Get in the cold tub after the workout. It's just a lot of funny, spontaneous stuff with him. You never know what you're going to get.
Jim Harbaugh's like a box of chocolates.
Yes.
It's so funny. I just because like you hear about him getting in with the shoes, khakis, and everything on. You hear that once, you're like, okay, that must have been like a one-off.
Yeah.
No, he did that. He
Let
did
me
that at
crack you
Michigan. He did that at Michigan. This isn't like he's just being himself. He's not trying to be silly.
Right.
Like that would be me doing it once to be like, haha, look at me, I'm the jokester. He's just like legit. Like I'm gonna waste time putting a suit on. Yeah. Let's get in this.
Let me break the ice in case you don't feel like talking to me. I'm just gonna get in this cold tub without my clothes on.
Yeah,
Isn't that
belt
funny?
and everything.
Yeah, seriously, that's part of Bill. I don't know. I think he's. Do you think he like considers it like me doing this is gonna make like it's gonna like neutralize everyone from being on edge, like trying to make the team and like fighting for spots. Me getting in the cold tub with all my clothes on will like bring some relief and humor to this very tense,
levity,
like difficult situation. Yeah, like I think he's. I don't think it's an accident. I don't think it's just like, oh yeah, this is just what I do. I think he started doing it
on my clothes again.
Well, I really do think it's something he found that like can be effective.
Well, it brings them all together. They're all together looking and smiling at each other, waiting for him to do something next so they can either laugh at what he's doing or like celebrate what he's doing. It's a great way to bring everybody together. It's like, the opposite side of it is to have like an asshole coach who you all rally together in spite of that coach. You have certain ones. There's a guy that's, former New England Patriot coach that kind of had that energy. That's a different way to bring people together. I think this is a way more fun way of jumping in a cold tub with all your clothes on to bring the guys together.
Well, it's a happy medium because you look at it in different ways of any kind of a leader. You got the stern hard ass that everybody better recognize and respect.
The hammer's coming.
And then you got the friendly guy who's like, I just want to be your buddy. I just want to hang out and have fun. Jim Harbaugh is that amalgamation of the two because you respect him as a coach. You know what he can bring to this team. He's a smart guy, but he's also like, he knows when to have fun. He knows when to make it a good time. And I think the players recognize that and respect that, especially with how he has been at every team that he's ever coached, because he's a winning coach. He's going to win. So
that's
it's like,
what I was going to say.
Yeah, you don't have to look at it as like, oh, he's just trying to be my friend. It's, oh no, he's actually trying to like buy into us so we can buy into him, and that's creating that culture.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love it.
Yeah. And he also was played in the NFL. Like he knows what those locker rooms are like, and like probably is like, hey, this is tense. Let's shake things up. I need to make sure that like, let's create like a good work environment and locker room where these guys want to play. Because he probably played in some places when he was in the NFL that weren't like that.
Exactly. Love it. And then Bud Dupree on Win asked if there's a narrative around this defense that you guys have played lesser offenses so far. Are you excited to prove that you guys could do that against top offenses? Bud Dupree said, I mean, we played everybody. The Chiefs played, right? So what's the difference between us and them? I mean, I'm for real. Can you answer that? I mean, they got a good defense, right? Exactly. So call it tomato, tomato, or whatever you want to call it.
So he's like, don't ask me stupid ass questions, okay?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. It's also Bud's finally getting a little bit of that Charger bias that even when we're playing well, everyone's like, nah, this can't be right.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's probably, he never had that on the Steelers. If the Steelers played our same schedule, they would say, this is an elite defense. Incredible. Can't believe how good they're playing. Whereas when you're on the Chargers, he has never experienced the media just not letting it be real. Like there's got to be a reason why they're playing well right now.
Yeah. Because I think looking at, I saw a graphic floating around about how many points we've allowed. You know, we're still the top team,
by 3
scoring defense
over the Steelers.
Almost like 30 points. Like, the comparison, the difference is almost 30 points. I think it's like 28 or something.
The average
like
is like 3 between us and them. It's like 20 something.
Yeah. So it's fantastic to see. And then Jesse Minter on Puna Ford. Major shout out to Puna. He's been the anchor for us in the middle of the defense and allowed us to do different things in our coverages because of our ability to stop the run with less people. He's certainly a big, big piece of that.
And he's getting sacks, you know, like that was one of those under the radar, you know, signings during the offseason where it was like, okay, he looks cool. Like he played well in Seattle. Yeah. But look what he's done. Look what he's doing. It's not stopping.
He's sacking. Yeah. He's not just being a defender.
You're getting sacks from pressure up the middle like that.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of guys that can play like a true nose tackle and also execute that.
And get to the quarterback.
And honestly, I went back and watched his sack last game. Like I'm surprised they didn't call a flag on him just because of the extra weight and power.
Of Puna.
I don't think he meant to do that. That's just how much heat and weight was coming at that quarterback at Levis. So
you never go full Puna.
You never go full Puna.
Do you feel like they've lessened the like roughing the passer calls this year? I mean, I primarily watch Charger games.
Yeah,
Justin
never
one.
gets them. Yeah, no, the few Chiefs games I've watched, Mr. Mahomes gets a good amount.
Yeah, well, that's a whole different story. That's
another
podcast.
Horse of a different color.
And then lastly, Greg Roman on Gus Edwards said, I thought he played well. I thought it was the best he's looked this year. He had a few things he was working through in the offseason. Got that little IR break to get some things right. Gus is back. The bus is back. It's really great to have him down the stretch.
Yeah. No, he was hurt that whole offseason. So, you know, when he came in, he wasn't really that productive, right? He was kind of that spell back that kind of didn't do a whole lot. That was the last game. Like he outrushed JK. So right, we'll see what happens.
Rusher, his average was 5.5, I think.
Yeah, per carry. That's the guy that's going to pound you and keep the ball away from you. Like that's how Joe Burrow doesn't get the ball. Him and JK just beating the shit out of that defense.
Yeah, I mean, it really is like in the fourth quarter, you're just tired of getting hit by Scott Matlock and Gus, and like
he's so
just
good.
Like,
by the way, Matlock's a monster. Some of his
so
blocks
good.
are crazy.
Yeah, he's so good. I don't know if there's a scarier person to meet in the hole than that guy. You're a linebacker trying to fill.
Crazy ginger flying at you with dark eyes, just gonna
the black at his eyes.
Yeah, like a doll's eyes.
Yeah, it's crazy. But it's also, I think this is huge for JK having Gus back, getting a little bit of a spell. You know, like even I saw on the IR, or not on the IR, the injury report, he got a rest day yesterday. It was just like he practiced Wednesday and then he just needed he just needs some rest. Like the guy he's doing everything in the running game for our offense. So I think for the stretch, like Greg Roman said, this playoff push and then hopefully into the postseason, It's going to be huge to have JK get a little bit of rest right now.
And I think JK's still going to have one of these games where he goes off. Like I think those are still locked and loaded because he's getting that 1,200 rushing yards. I'm feeling it. We haven't had an over 1,000-yard rusher in so long. Like Melvin Gordon was probably the last one. Like that's a long time ago.
It's been a hot minute. Well, what hasn't been a hot minute is the game predictions. Adam Rank.
I had to put his headshot in here so you could see where all these
put a face to the name.
Oh, that's it. He looks like Jesse Minter.
Just the bald version. It's a
Bald
real
Jesse Minter.
squeaky bald version of Jesse Minter.
Yeah, the NFL Films came out with their predictions, and it's leaning heavy on the Bengals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 10 are saying
6 to 4.
Are saying Bengals, and the rest are saying Chargers.
They're all one-score games, though. Like everyone's calling it 24-20, basically, or somewhere in that range, which I don't disagree with.
Adam Rink's just a petty guy because he went from they're not going to score 1 point on us last week just to be like whatever, and then I'm right because they scored 17 to now we're just going to put you slightly over that 20. I feel spite coming from him. I don't know. We're just looking at a graphic where he just put his scores in.
He's got a spiteful face.
I feel the spite in his eyes.
He does,
and his
I
bald
see
head.
the spite in his eyes, and he had the final score of this game 24-23, just like the little dagger in your side. Of this is going to be. You're going to lose by 1 point at the end of the game. And that's what Adam Rank is thinking.
He must have had like a big bet on them like 20 years ago. He got really burned and then it's just never let go of it.
Well, I think what's interesting is that, as we've talked about, the Chargers haven't given up more than 20 points in a game this season. There's only one person who has the Bengals scoring 19. Everybody else thinks that the Bengals are either going to hit 20 or more. And not today. Nah, it's not going to happen. Sorry.
I don't care if they score more than 20. That Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase scare me. If they score more than 20 and we still win, I don't care. This could be the game we give
win
up
is
a
always
streak.
more important.
What if we win and they don't score 20? How about that?
That'd be sick. Yeah.
sick.
But Dupree can have a little.
That would shut everybody up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shut
Shut your mouth.
Shut up. Okay. Looking at the injury report.
Brecken's a dick. Sorry.
This is
Sorry.
injury report.
We just watched Step Brothers 2 days ago. It's locked in my head.
This is the injury report as of Thursday, looking at the Chargers. Blessedly, we see a lot of limiteds. We see a few fulls. There's only 2 did not practice. Now, Kyle mentioned the first one earlier. J.K. Dobbins showed up on there just for a rest day, which is fine. Take a rest, take a breather.
Give me the NIRs, not injury related, just taking a break.
Yeah, go take a nap.
The other one who didn't practice, we normally see on here as well because he also takes rest days because he's been in the league as long as he has, and that's Khalil Mack. However, this was not rest related. He's been dealing with that groin injury. We saw him on the injury report last week. I don't think he had a single day of practice, but still came out to play against the Titans. And we might see a similar situation again this week of not practicing. But everybody else, we saw Dean Leonard got activated again from the IR, so he's back.
Getting healthy.
Fulton's not even on. Fulton is on here.
Fulton's on there.
Practicing.
Limited practices. Joey Bosa still dealing with the hip, getting limited practice. Gus Edwards, limited. Let's see. Deion Henley had some kind of an illness. I don't know, but he had a full practice.
He ate too much. He ate too much on Sunday.
Oh, good one, Kev.
Hayden. No, that was solid. That was great.
Nice.
Hayden Hurst had a personal reason, didn't practice on Wednesday, but he's full. He's good to go.
We saw a hand doctor.
I guess, hopefully. Yeah, he's like, can you put something, can you surgically put something sticky on my hands?
Or a psychologist or something, yeah. Somebody fix my hand.
Somebody fix these. Trey Pipkins had the ankle injury, but we saw he's back in practice, all taped up. And Stone Smart also with the ankle, limited practices as well. So this is, think about this, like where we're at in the schedule. And we got so many healthy dudes.
I'm trying to think who's on our IR besides Zont.
I think it's just Zont.
I think it's just Zont. We haven't lost anyone for the season yet.
Yeah, careful, dude.
I just knocked on wood. It's fine. It wiped out.
I don't know.
Wiped out.
I wiped that out. But no, it's great. You know, he's built. What was the quote from Herbert where he's like, "I'm going to make them harder to break"?
Yeah, harder to break.
Yeah. Let's go. Harder to break.
Bend, don't break. Looking at Twitter, Chris Rim said Khalil Mack said he tweaked both groins in week 9. He's got 2 in week 9 against Cleveland Browns, and then tweaked the right one again on Sunday against the Titans. Said he's never felt an injury like this before, but he's planning to play Sunday. So there you go.
Did you just say he's got 2?
It says right here he tweaked both groins. Do you have more than one?
Yeah, right and left.
Well, on each leg.
Yes.
Oh, well, groin is a central location.
Groin doesn't mean dick. It means
He didn't tweak his nuts.
Sorry,
I'd never. Every time I hear groin, listen. Every time I hear groin, I only hear one. Not
it's a groins. Yeah,
if he's got a both, it should be his groins injury.
He didn't. Yeah, it never says like he tweaked his left groin. It just says he tweaked his groin.
Groin. Yeah.
But yeah.
So if he tweaked both groins, I'd never heard it plural.
Why is groin such a funny word?
That's pretty good.
The more you say it, the weirder it gets.
But then Eric Smith also tweeted out Chargers outside linebacker Khalil Mack was asked if he's considered sitting out a game in order to fully heal his groins. Khalil laughed, rightfully so, and said, hell no.
He's a boss. Groins or no groins.
Groins or no groins.
Joey Bosa needs to get some of that Khalil Mack toughness, I think, because he's playing through all these little dings.
Well, we're seeing it. He's still coming out there, and he's still playing for sure. And then Chris Rim also tweeted out cornerback Christian Fulton said he feels 100%, and he's planning to play Sunday against the Bengals. Fulton and Jamar Chase were teammates in high school and at
LSU.
And at LSU. Fulton said he's excited for the matchup and said Chase is a top 5 receiver.
I didn't know that.
I think he's top 1.
He's probably top 1.
But that's
at least for this season. Yeah.
If you look at his fantasy, he's been really, really, really good. Like he has games where they just did not account for him and they blew it. I don't think we're going to let him do that. I think we're going to bracket the shit out of him and he's not going to get anything. Make the other guys do it.
Yeah.
I was listening to the Believe podcast and Lorenzo Neal said, just put 2 guys on the line like it's punt coverage and just jam him with 2 guys to start the play.
Yeah,
I like that
smart.
idea.
Listen, it's a bold strategy.
It's unconventional. I like it.
I'm here for it. Well, folks, hopefully you are also here for our sponsor this week, Underdog Fantasy. It's the best place to cash in on all of your takes this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are ice cold? Make your entries in just a few taps and turn your sports opinions into real money. Red Zone Rush, a game you won't find anywhere else. Just pick whether or not a player will score a TD by swiping right for yes, left for no. Simple as that. Plus, your entry will be automatically boosted, and you'll get a 51% profit boost when you play. You can win up to 1,000 times your money, folks, just by choosing higher or lower on player stats like passing yards, interceptions, touchdowns, and much more. And Underdog is the best place to play champions. So sign up and deposit now using promo code CCHAT. CCHAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. And folks, we got to say, we're a football podcast. We talk a lot about football, specifically the Chargers. Underdog Fantasy, it's not just football. There's a lot of different options out there.
Do you know a guy named Mike Tyson?
Yeah,
yeah, I know his name.
Oh God, here it comes.
He's fighting a little guy on Friday. You can put some higher, lower. Yeah,
you can make some picks. Because I mean, it gets very specific, folks, on different things. What are some of the picks that you can make on this Tyson fight coming up? There's like
higher, lower on knockdowns. How many knockdowns?
How many minutes it is?
How many minutes it's going to last? How many rounds it's going to go?
How many punches they're going to land?
Yeah, how many punches are going to be landed? Yeah,
like it gets wild. There's a lot of different things that you could pick on Underdog Fantasy, folks. It's a lot of fun. I highly recommend signing up because I mean we're having a blast with it over here, and you too can have a blast because you get the promo code CCHAT where you can get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. I don't know why you haven't signed up yet. Get on it, folks. Download the app today and use code CCHAT to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly, where you must be 18 or over 19 in Alabama, Nebraska, over 19 in Colorado for some games, over 21 in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Void in Colorado. Concerned with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. Arizona, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. That's 1-800-639-8873 or text NEXT STEP to 53342. New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY to 467-369. And folks, when you're done making those sweet ass picks, you can go on over to our Patreon, patreon.com/ChargerChat. It's Friday, so that means there's going to be an extra video over there today over at patreon.com/ChargerChat. But if you don't want to go over there, that's totally fine. You can go on over to our regular website, ChargerChat.com. Check out all the cool stuff we got over there, t-shirts, hoodies, and stickers. Chat it up with other Charger Chatteteers in the members section and ask questions and ask Bolt Fam. So go check out ChargerChat.com. All right, gang, it's time to go into the next segment. Every Friday, you know him, you love him. Ooh, it's the Greg Experience.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
Come on in, man. Kick your feet up.
Oh.
Greg Experience.
Hello there.
Make yourself at home. Got some stuff to talk about, right? Moving on.
Hey, yo. Would you look at that? Our Los Angeles Chargers are starting to drum up quite a bit of national attention all of a sudden. 6-3 record has a lot to do with that. Coach Jim Harbaugh, absolutely. But you know, we don't want to feed into any of it. There's a job to be done. And this Sunday in primetime against, yes, I know, a 4-6 team, but if you've been watching the league this year, especially what they've been putting up offensively, you know this is not going to be an easy task. And this defense is going to have to show improve. But I've got a ton of confidence, and we'll talk a little bit about some of what happened last week, how that transitions over into this game, and what maybe we can expect come Sunday night. With that said, let's get into it. CC gang, the biggest of salutes to the rest of the Bolt fam. What's going on? It's your guy Craig in Texas, and welcome to this edition of the TCE. Let's roll. You guys know how I like to give it up. A little bit of a recap of last week's game and how that might kind of transition into the next week's matchup. And let's be honest, this team is on an upward trajectory. No regression here, specifically on the offensive side of the ball. Because what did we get to see against the Titans? What looked like 2020 Rose Bowl Jay Herbo, because the Duke and scoot, and he made some defenders look really bad. I mean, one in particular, former Charger Kenneth Murray Jr., had a really rough day. And Herbert put him on skates in a way that I've not seen a defender in quite some time. Looked like he got hit with an Allen Iverson crossover. And, I mean, look, you see the screenshots all over Twitter. People are making fun of him. They're having a great time at his expense. It sucks because you don't want to bag on the guy, but, dude, it was really bad. And you also had McCreary, I think, the cornerback that Herbert shook out of his shoes as well. Look, man, y'all are just the first of many, so be prepared to see this to carry on throughout the season because Buddy is recovering quite nicely from that high ankle sprain. This was probably always a part of their original plan, but unfortunately, due to that injury, they couldn't unleash him the way that they want. But this is absolutely the best version of Herbert, so it's what I expect to see moving forward. On top of that, you got the Gus Bus back and looking fully primed and ready to roll. He had 55 yards carrying, was at a 5.5 yard per carry clip, and he did that against a defensive front that boasts Justin Simmons and T'Vondre Sweat. So that's no small deal, man. He was really going to town there. You saw him running behind his pads. Guys were moving at the point of contact backwards. And this is what we all expected, specifically when we signed him in the offseason. Him in tandem with J.K. Dobbins is going to be a nightmare for defenses moving forward. And the later in the season it gets, the less likely people are going to want to see 6'2", 240 pounds steamrolling in between the A and B gaps while also contending with J.K. Dobbins slashing on the inside and out. So it's all coming together at just the ideal time. So the stretch run of the season should be fun. As far as team defense goes, it was beautiful. And that's exactly what it was. Team defense. Chargers had 7 sacks. Even with the injuries to Khalil Mack, who only played like a handful of snaps, and Joey Bosa, who still isn't 100%, they got after it. And so I expect that to be the case again this week. And also someone who deserves a shout out specifically, Darius Davis, because I gave him a hard time early in the season. And it might have been because he was dealing with an injury. You know, he was out for a little bit, but some of his decision making in the return game was off, but not in the last 2 weeks specifically. This looks like the difference making rookie from 2023 that we all came to know and love. Just this past Sunday, 56-yard kickoff return. If you want to rewind a little bit further, in week 9 against the Browns, he had a 53-yard punt return. We're talking about the Chargers getting the ball in plus territory due to Darius Davis and fewer drives that start inside the 10. You guys heard me call that out, or in the 20, just negative territory. So the Chargers aren't having to drive nearly the full length of the field. And for an offense that's still growing, that's about as much help as you can give them. And now, moving on into the main event. Sunday night at SoFi with the entire country watching. Oh boy, this is going to be a goodie. So offensively, here's what I'm looking for. I would love for them to deploy a similar game plan to last week. A couple things about the Bengals. They're 17th in the league against the run, 23rd against the pass, 26th in points allowed. But look, don't fall into that trap. Keep Joe Burrow off of the field. I know a shootout sounds fun, but the Bengals are a team that's actually built for that. You probably watched a little bit of them this season, so you know that they can get the ball down the field in a hurry because they have a guy who's right now the best wide receiver in the NFL. Now you've got Justin Jefferson, his former LSU teammate, who holds that title, I guess, for the last few years, but just this season, who Jamar is on a hell of a tear. So I think he holds the crown currently. But the Chargers are not built similarly to the Bengals, where they want to play a more of a finesse style. This Bolt squad is about grinding opponents into the dirt. So I would be heavy on the JK and Gus, sprinkle in 4 to 5 design Herbo runs, but ultimately do your best to control the clock. Keep the passing attempts around, I would say, the 18 to 22 range. That sounds good to me. And when Herbert does drop back, you got to neutralize the NFL sack leader, Trey Hendrickson. Thank God for Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, but don't think for one second that they haven't seen Zion's issues with identifying and adjusting to picking up stunts. They'll probably try to manufacture pressure with him in that way, especially if he gets stonewalled on the edges. Defensively, you got to make Burrow play from the pocket. And it's not that he can't deal from there, but where he shines is when he extends plays and receivers break off routes and run the space. And God, please bracket Jamar Chase. Also, you want to mix and match your blitz packages, but from similar sets, so you give Burrow a few things to think about. Make him see one thing, think that's coming, and then switch it up on him. And then the key for me is going to be interior pressure. Can you help win the day? I mean, Puna Ford had a sack last week. Morgan Fox has flashed here and there. But can the two of those guys collectively, especially on passing downs, funnel Burrow into that 4-man edge rotation, but do not allow him to climb the pocket? With all that said, as you can tell, I'm pretty amped about this matchup because there's so much that can go down, and the Chargers are going to prove a lot. And like I said before, I know that this Bengals team is 4-6, but don't let that record fool you. They're much better than what they look like. And Burrow would typically be an MVP candidate if it wasn't for this team's current record. But we all know about that, right? High-level QB play, but the rest of your team letting you down, specifically your defense. Yeah, can't relate anymore, though. But as far as the score is concerned, I'm going to roll with Chargers 24, Bengals 20. We know that's the magic number. Chargers have still not allowed a team to score over 20, and I think they carry that through this weekend. So, fellas, I know you guys are amped about this one too. We've got a high level of excitement for this team around the fan base. Folks, if you're in town, show up to the game, get the tickets. People with season tickets, get in that building and do your thing. You heard the call from Coach. Let's make it happen, support our guys, and help push them, propel them into another victory. And then the fun starts the following weeks because you got a couple hefty matchups, but let's get through this one first and foremost. But y'all know who it is. It's your boy, Mr. Bolt Ganger Do Not Bang, a.k.a. TOP_FLYT3 over on Twitter. And you can catch me as a co-host over on the Lightning Round podcast. Feel free to join us post-game for After Hours. We'll be kicking it over there and reviewing the game. We do appreciate all of your support. So, again, looking forward to this one, people. Everybody's going to be tuned in. So, until the next time, okay? Love you, bye.
Well, there you go, folks. Another awesome Craig experience. Craig, thank you so much. All great points as usual. I mean, we're seeing this team. That's the best part. We are now, I mentioned earlier, we're getting to that point in the season where it's like, all right, it's time to finish strong. And our team is as healthy as you could possibly ask for right now. And because we already had our bye week, we have no bye week on the horizon. It's crazy that there's some teams that have bye week like week 14.
Yeah, they still haven't had their bye week.
Yeah. So we are heading in that right direction. The offense is cooking now. Like they're starting to find their groove.
That's the thing he said, where it was like the trajectory. They're continuing to get better. If you start plateauing as like an offense or a defense, that's not great. You're not getting better. So I completely agree with him on that.
Yeah, that's what's going to get this team further and further, and playoffs. Like it could potentially happen here, folks.
This is a big game. This is an AFC game. You get this, it changes the dynamic. Like the percentage of us not making it gets lower and lower and lower.
But we're not going lower. We're taking it higher. Craig, thank you for another awesome. All right. Okay.
Oh no.
There he is. He's back.
Kevin's too high. He's on another planet right now.
It's my version of Hulk. I turn into macho.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for this episode of Charger Chat, folks. But before we go, we got to make some bolt predictions. Whose turn is
I'm first.
Oh,
yeah.
God.
Yeah, I'm first. So I'm gonna go. I feel like the tight ends just have to get involved more. Will Disley's done a good job, but those drops are just really pissing me off. So I'm gonna say, although Stone Smart is on the injury report right now, I'm gonna get a Stone Smart touchdown in this game.
Ooh.
I don't know. I think there's a little bit of untapped potential there. I think with Hayden not really performing, I think you could find a way to take advantage of Stone Smart a little bit more down there in the red zone. So I'm gonna go Stone Smart touchdown and a 27-21 Chargers victory.
Oh, 21. I don't like it.
I know. It just feels like it's time to let it go. It's time to let the 20-point thing go.
Get ready. Who's up?
I'll take it. I'm going to say Chargers are going to win. I'm going to say 27-20. I think it'll get close. It'll be that one score kind of game.
I love how I can just see it in your eyes. You're just winging it. You just like shooting from the hip.
Yeah, I am. I don't think about this. Are you kidding me? This is all pure unfiltered Wool Dog. I
love it.
And then I think Khalil Mack is going to get 2 sacks, one for each groin.
It's his groin game.
It's his groin game.
It's groins game.
Jordan had the flu game. Khalil Mack is going to have a groin game.
Joe Burrow's going to get the groin cam as Khalil Mack comes in and just sits right on his face.
He gets a sack with his groin.
Yeah, groin sack.
Wow, that's pretty good.
There you go.
All right.
Take us home, Kev.
All right, let's write this down because I got a long one.
Oh, Jesus.
So we're going to go Chargers win 26-16.
Okay.
We're going to have Deion Henry is going to have 11 solo tackles. Tuli Tuipulotu will have 2 sacks. And DJ Chark will have a 40-plus yard touchdown pass.
Oh, my God.
Receiving. Those are 3.
Considering
you can put them in the
DJ
bank.
Chark only played
Kevin's been playing too much. Kevin's been playing too much underdog. He's just putting all of these picks together.
That's going to be a bet, as soon as it happens. So
yeah, well, there you go, folks. You can make those kind of picks over at Underdog Fantasy. Just sign up today. Use promo code CChat. All right, well, there you go. Bolt predictions in the books there, folks. That's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Any final thoughts? Anything to add? Take away? Subtract? Multiply?
No, dude, Primetime game.
Groin game.
Kyle's going to the game, so we can't wait to see.
I'm going to the game.
I can't wait for you to report back
Kyle
on that bad boy.
Dude, that's the other thing, too. I saw that they were like kind of teasing some of the show, the pregame, the lights. I cannot wait.
Yeah, it's going to be, and daylight savings hit, so it's going to be nice and dark right at kickoff. It's already going to be dark in there.
Dude, and that Harbaugh promo where he just finished his press conference, came up, he was like, yeah, we want home field advantage. And he looked at the camera.
Don't forget to show up.
And then he walked out. Dude, I was like, oh my God, everyone's got to go.
Please, folks,
please
if
go.
you can go, please go. I want to see this so bad. And we'll all be there in the following game. But
Monday night.
One step at a time,
Monday night.
folks. Sunday night first. So there you go, folks. That's going to do it for us here at Charger Chat. Don't forget to bolt up, because we're ready for any squad, any place.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Okay, love you. Bye.